Captain Ryan had seen many strange things in his life as a space explorer, but nothing prepared him for the sight that greeted him in the quiet, dimly lit lab of Station Omega-7. The station, orbiting a barren hostile planet on the edge of known space, hummed with low mechanical noise punctuated by the occasional hiss of cooling vents. A faint red glow from the emergency lights reflected off the metal walls, giving the room an eerie feeling. But Ryan's attention was fixed on the figure in the center of the lab. She was unlike any life he had ever encountered. Her form was delicate, almost ethereal, yet her suit gave the impression of strength and resilience. The suit was sleek and reflective, embedded with strange symbols that seemed to glow faintly. As Ryan stepped closer, the alien raised her hands in a subtle, cautious gesture. "Please, don't take off my suit," she whispered, her voice soft, almost trembling. Ryan froze for a moment. Her words carried more than fear. They carried a warning, a silent plea that went beyond language. But curiosity and duty pushed him forward. The distress signal that had drawn him here hinted at advanced technology that could be crucial for his mission. And that technology was clearly part of her suit. I won't hurt you," Ryan said gently, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "I just need to understand this suit. It might help both of us survive." She looked at him, her large, expressive eyes filled with a mix of trust and caution. Finally, with a hesitant nod, she allowed him to approach. Ryan carefully began inspecting the suit, noting the fine mesh of circuits and tiny nodes embedded within the armor-like shell. Every part seemed to pulse faintly with life, as though the suit itself were a living organism. The alien watched him closely, her eyes never leaving his movements. "It protects me," she whispered. "Without it, I cannot survive," Ryan nodded. He understood that. The suit was more than armor. It was a life support system, possibly integrated with her very biology. Removing it too quickly could be dangerous. He slowed his movements, proceeding with extreme caution. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the station, making the floor vibrate beneath their feet. Red lights flashed in sequence, casting long shadows across the walls. Ryan's heart rate quickened. He could see the alien's eyes widen in panic. "They're here," she said. "Who's here?" Ryan asked, his hand still hovering near the suit. Her voice trembled. "The hunters. They come for the weapon I guard. They will destroy everything." Before Ryan could ask more, the lab doors hissed open, and a patrol of alien soldiers entered. They were unlike the alien before him, tall, angular, and menacing, their armor matte black and their eyes glowing a fierce yellow. Ryan quickly assessed the situation. Fighting them head-on in the tight confines of the lab would be suicide. "Follow me," he whispered to her, grabbing her hand gently. She hesitated, but the urgency in his tone made her comply. They ducked behind a bank of machinery as blaster fire filled the room. Sparks flew from the walls as energy bolts ricocheted off the metal. Ryan's mind raced. He had to protect her, but he also had to complete the mission. He scanned the lab for anything useful and spotted a series of control panels. With a quick gesture, he activated the emergency lockdown, sealing off parts of the lab from the intruders. The alien looked at him with surprise and admiration, her initial fear slowly giving way to trust. "Human, clever," she whispered. Ryan allowed himself a brief, grim smile. "We have to be smart, not just strong," he replied. They moved deeper into the lab, navigating narrow corridors lined with glowing panels and flickering lights. The alien whispered fragments of information about her species and the weapon she protected. She explained that her people had faced extinction threats from a dangerous predator species that hunted across galaxies. The suit she wore was not just protective, it contained memories, knowledge, and even abilities that were unique to her kind. Removing it too early could expose her to fatal risks. Ryan listened carefully, understanding the stakes. He realized that this mission was no longer just about exploration. It was about survival, cooperation, and perhaps even trust between species. As they reached a secure chamber, the alien paused. She looked at Ryan, her eyes reflecting a mixture of fear and hope. "If they catch me, it is the end. If you help me, we might survive." Ryan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We'll survive," he said firmly, "but only if we work together." Inside the chamber, they found a smaller secondary suit interface. It was a simplified version of the alien's main armor, possibly a training model or emergency backup. Ryan studied it, realizing that if they could integrate human and alien knowledge, they might be able to defend themselves more effectively. The alien watched him, her expression softening. "You are not like the others," she said. Ryan shrugged. "I'm human," he said. "We have a way of surviving, even in impossible situations." Her lips curved into a faint smile. It was the first real sign of trust she had shown him. But the moment was short-lived. The patrol outside was regrouping, and Ryan could hear their heavy footsteps and the low hum of their weapons. Time was running out. He quickly formulated a plan. Using his knowledge of human engineering and her understanding of alien technology, he rigged a series of automated defenses, energy turrets powered by the lab's core, laser grids that could disorient intruders, and a network of magnetic fields to slow their approach. The alien watched in awe as he moved with precision and confidence. When the first wave of enemies breached the chamber, Ryan and the alien were ready. The defenses activated, sending energy pulses and flashing lights across the room. The alien instinctively used her suit's abilities to amplify the effects, creating bursts of energy that pushed back the attackers. They worked seamlessly, a combination of human ingenuity and alien power. After what felt like hours but was only minutes, the intruders were repelled. Ryan and the alien stood among the flickering lights and smoke, both breathing heavily. The alien looked at him, her expression a mix of relief and curiosity. "You saved me," she said softly. Ryan shook his head. "We saved each other," he replied. "And if we want to survive, we need to keep working together." She nodded, understanding the truth in his words. For the first time, she removed a small part of her suit herself, showing him that she trusted him. Ryan examined it carefully, noting the intricate design and the advanced technology that seemed beyond human comprehension. He realized that this suit could hold the key to surviving on the planet below, and perhaps even preventing a galactic disaster. As the emergency lights dimmed and the station settled into quiet again, Ryan felt a renewed sense of purpose. This mission was no longer just about exploration. It was about survival, trust, and discovering what humans were truly capable of. And for the first time, he felt that the alien before him might see humans not as threats but as allies, perhaps even heroes. But the danger was far from over. The hunters would return, and the weapon she guarded was still out there, waiting. Ryan knew that the next steps would be even more perilous, yet as he looked at the alien standing beside him, he felt a spark of hope. Together they could face the unknown, and perhaps even change the fate of their worlds. And so, in the quiet glow of Station Omega-7, a human and an alien began an uneasy alliance, one built on courage, trust, and the promise that humans, even in the darkest corners of space, could rise to challenges that no one else could face. After the attack in the lab, the station was silent again. Ryan and the alien, whom he had learned to call Leora, moved cautiously through the dim corridors. Leora's suit now showed minor damage from the confrontation, and her breathing seemed slightly strained. Ryan realized that time was critical. Every moment they delayed, the hunters outside were regrouping. "Ryan, I must warn you," Leora said softly. "The suit. It is not only protection. It holds memories. It holds knowledge. Removing it too fast can harm both of us." Ryan nodded, understanding that her plea was serious. "I know, I didn't remove it fully. I just wanted to understand it so we could survive together." She looked at him, her large eyes reflecting a mix of caution and curiosity. "You are human. You are brave. Not like others." He allowed himself a small smile. "Humans have a way of surviving, no matter the odds." Leora studied him for a moment, then lowered her voice. "The hunters. They want the weapon I guard. It is hidden on the planet below. If they reach it first, all life of my kind will end." Ryan's brow furrowed. "Weapon? What kind of weapon?" Leora shook her head. "Not a weapon to destroy, but to protect, to preserve life. It holds energy, power beyond your imagining. Only the suit can interface with it. Only one like me can control it. Safely." Ryan took a deep breath. The mission he thought would be simple exploration had now turned into a race for survival, with stakes far beyond anything he had imagined. And yet he felt something he rarely felt in the face of danger, a sense of purpose. "Then we must go to the planet," he said firmly. "We don't have time to wait. If the hunters reach it first, it's over." Leora hesitated, glancing at the viewport showing the hostile planet below. Its surface was rough, covered with jagged cliffs, deep canyons, and violent storms. It is dangerous, even with the suit. Many have tried. All failed. Ryan's expression hardened. Then we'll be the first to succeed. The journey to the planet was tense. The station's shuttle was small and frail, not meant for combat or long-distance survival. Ryan piloted it expertly, weaving through the planet's unstable orbit while Leora monitored the alien systems that interfaced with her suit. As they descended, turbulence shook the shuttle violently. Sparks flew from the control panels and alarms blared, but Ryan's hands were steady. His focus, calm and precise, reminded Leora of something she had never seen before in her kind: a human's ability to stay composed under extreme pressure. Finally, they landed on a plateau surrounded by jagged cliffs. The shuttle's landing caused a cloud of dust to rise, revealing the desolate beauty of the planet. Strange vegetation with luminous leaves clung to the rocks. Small streams of liquid that shimmered in multiple colors ran along the cracks in the ground. The alien hunters could arrive at any moment, and yet there was a strange sense of peace in the silence. Leora removed a small part of her suit to allow more mobility, but kept her life support systems intact. Ryan studied the suit carefully. Its inner layers were filled with information he could barely comprehend: holographic projections, alien language codes, energy matrices that seemed alive. "You understand it?" Leora asked, noticing his interest. Ryan shook his head. "Not fully, but I can figure it out. Humans, we are clever when we have to be." She seemed impressed. "Clever, yes. But can you survive what comes next?" Ryan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he surveyed the terrain. The planet was alive in ways that humans were not accustomed to. Strange creatures slithered between rocks, their movements almost liquid. Winds howled across the cliffs, carrying sand and strange particles that glowed faintly. He realized that survival would require more than courage. It would require human adaptability and quick thinking. As they moved forward, Leora shared fragments of her history. Her people had once been guardians of peace across the galaxy, but a predator species, cruel and relentless, had hunted them for centuries. The weapon she guarded was the last hope, a source of energy that could restore balance and protect her species from annihilation. Ryan listened intently. He felt a growing respect for her and her people. They had endured unimaginable hardship, and yet Leora still fought, still hoped. Her strength inspired him, but he also knew that humans had something unique to offer: imagination, creativity, and a willingness to take risks no other species might attempt. Hours passed as they navigated treacherous terrain. At one point, a massive storm swept across the plateau, forcing them to seek shelter in a cave. Inside, the walls shimmered with alien crystals that emitted soft light. Leora's suit adjusted automatically, shielding her from the storm's energy surges. Ryan marveled at the technology, but he also realized that he could contribute. Using his knowledge of human engineering, he rigged a temporary energy shield outside the cave entrance, slowing the storm's impact and giving them time to rest. That was clever, Leora said, her voice tinged with awe. "You think differently. Humans, remarkable." Ryan smiled, but he knew their journey was far from over. The hunters were relentless and time was running out. He glanced at Leora, noting how fragile she seemed without her suit fully intact. Yet despite her vulnerability, she moved with grace and confidence, her trust in him growing. As night fell, they made camp near a glowing river of strange liquid. The light reflected off the cave walls, creating patterns that danced like stars. Leora finally spoke of the weapon's location: a hidden valley deep within the planet, protected by natural barriers and ancient alien constructs. She explained that the weapon could not be controlled by anyone without her suit, and even then it required a combination of alien and human intelligence to operate safely. Ryan nodded. "Then we're perfect for this mission. You have the suit and knowledge I have, human instincts. Together we can reach it before the hunters do." Leora hesitated, then smiled faintly. "You trust easily, humans. Different from what I feared?" Ryan chuckled. "We can be cautious too, but sometimes you have to take risks to survive. And right now survival depends on both of us." Suddenly a distant rumble echoed across the valley. Ryan and Leora tensed. The hunters were not far behind. Using a combination of Leora's suit sensors and Ryan's ingenuity, they prepared a series of traps and distractions, hoping to slow the pursuers while they advanced. Rocks were rigged to roll down cliffs, Energy pulses were projected to mislead the hunters, and holographic illusions created false trails. The hunters arrived, but they were confused. Their movements were slowed, their numbers reduced. Ryan and Leora pressed forward, moving swiftly but cautiously. Each step was a test of human and alien coordination, of trust and bravery. And with each successful maneuver, Leora's faith in humanity grew. She began to see that humans, despite their small physical size compared to her kind, had something that made them extraordinary. The courage to act boldly, the creativity to overcome impossible odds, and the resilience to face the unknown without hesitation. By the time the first rays of alien dawn touched the valley, Ryan and Leora had made significant progress. The hidden valley was still distant, but they were closer than ever. Exhausted but determined, they paused to rest, knowing that the next phase of their journey would be even more dangerous. Ryan looked at Leora, seeing not just an alien being but a partner, a comrade in a mission that could change the fate of her species and prove humanity's worth across the stars. And as he prepared for the next stage, he realized that HFY, the human spirit, courage and ingenuity, was not just a concept. It was alive, tangible, and powerful. Together they faced the coming challenges with renewed determination. The weapon awaited them. The hunters were relentless and the planet's dangers were ever present. But with trust, intelligence, and courage, Ryan and Leora were ready to confront whatever the galaxy could throw at them. The revelation was clear. Humans, in their daring and ingenuity, could rise to challenges that no other species could face. And for Leora, that realization was as powerful as the weapon she guarded. The valley ahead was unlike anything Ryan had ever seen. Towering cliffs lined the jagged paths, their edges glowing faintly with alien minerals. Strange plants with luminescent tendrils grew along the canyon walls, moving slightly as if they were aware of his presence. The wind howled through the narrow passages, carrying a scent that was sharp and metallic, a reminder that this planet was alive and dangerous. Ryan moved carefully, scanning the terrain. Leora followed closely, her partially exposed suit glowing softly in the dim light. Every step was deliberate. The planet was unforgiving, and the hunters were likely not far behind. The weapon, "It is close," Leora whispered, her voice a mix of determination and exhaustion. But the path, "It is dangerous. Many have tried and failed." Ryan nodded. "Then we'll be the first to succeed." His voice was steady, calm, though his mind raced with calculations. Survival on this planet would require both courage and intelligence. He had to anticipate the environment, the predators and the hunters. Every decision mattered. They descended into a narrow canyon, the walls almost pressing against them. Strange creatures skittered across the rocks, small, fast, and sharp-eyed, but harmless so far. Leora's suit emitted faint pulses that scanned the surroundings, detecting movement and energy patterns. Ryan noticed that her suit could do much more than protect her. It could communicate with the planet's energy systems, sense threats, and even manipulate environmental fields. As they moved, Ryan began to integrate his own knowledge. Using basic principles of physics and engineering, he rigged small devices from debris they carried to create barriers and distractions. A falling boulder here, a redirected stream of glowing liquid there. Each action slowed the planet's natural hazards and made the path safer for them. Leora watched, impressed by his resourcefulness. "You think differently," she said softly. "Humans, clever." Ryan smiled faintly. "We have to be. It's how we survive." The canyon opened into a larger chamber, a natural amphitheater of jagged stone and glowing crystals. In the center, a river of shimmering energy flowed, winding like a ribbon of light through the terrain. Ryan realized it was not just energy. It was a living current, sensitive to movement, capable of responding to threats or intrusions. Crossing it without preparation would be impossible. Leora studied the energy river, her suit's sensors scanning the flow. "We must use the suit carefully, one wrong move. And it could destroy us." Ryan nodded. Together they devised a plan. He would move first, using his human intuition to find solid footing and predict the river's flow. Leora would follow, her suit amplifying their combined efforts. Step by step, Ryan moved across the river, testing each floating energy platform with careful precision. The river pulsed beneath him, responding to pressure and movement. Leora followed, her suit generating protective fields that stabilized the energy platforms temporarily. It was delicate work, but they made it across without incident. Once on the other side, they pressed forward. The terrain became more treacherous. Cliffs rose sharply, and sudden drops appeared without warning. Strange alien predators lurked in the shadows, large four-legged creatures with glowing eyes and armored hides. They sniffed the air, sensing movement, but Ryan and Leora's careful coordination allowed them to pass unnoticed. Your human instincts. They help, Leora admitted. I would not survive this journey alone. Ryan glanced at her. And I would not survive without your suit. We work better together. The hidden valley where the weapon lay was finally in sight. It was a secluded area surrounded by natural energy barriers and ancient alien constructs. Massive stone pillars etched with alien glyphs stood like guardians. The energy flowing through them pulsed rhythmically, almost as if alive. Leora's eyes widened. This is it, she whispered. The weapon lies beyond, but only one like me can interface with it. Ryan studied the scene. The alien constructs were intricate, but he noticed patterns, mechanical and logical sequences that could be understood with careful observation. He pointed to one of the pillars. If I help you activate the sequences, we can control the energy safely, together. Leora hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Very well. Human, we try. Together. As they approached the weapon, the hunters arrived. The sound of their boots echoed against the cliffs, and Ryan could see their glowing eyes and dark armor moving swiftly. They were faster than Ryan expected, and their weapons hummed with deadly energy. But Ryan did not panic. Using his knowledge of terrain and timing, he directed Leora to position the energy shields from her suit strategically. The hunters fired, but the energy fields deflected their shots. Ryan used debris and natural features to create distractions and barriers. One hunter was caught in a falling rock trap, another misled by a sudden energy pulse. Leora focused her suit's power on stabilizing the weapon's interface, keeping them one step ahead. Finally, they reached the weapon itself. It was a crystalline structure, glowing with immense energy. Ryan could feel the hum of power radiating from it. Leora's suit began to synchronize with the weapon, her body and armor glowing brighter as she interfaced with it. You must trust me, Ryan said quietly. Leora nodded. I trust humans. Now together, they activated the weapon. Energy flowed from it, responding to both Leora's suit and Ryan's adjustments. The hunters tried to intervene, but the weapon's protective field, guided by their combined effort, repelled them. Light surged, creating a barrier that no predator or enemy could penetrate. For a moment, the valley was calm, bathed in the weapon's radiant energy. Leora turned to Ryan, her expression a mixture of relief and admiration. You human are remarkable. I did not believe you could do this. Ryan smiled, exhausted but proud. We did it together. That's what humans do. We work, we adapt, we survive. The hunters, realizing they were outmatched, retreated. The valley's energy barriers stabilized, and the weapon's power spread safely throughout the area, securing her species' future. Leora's suit glowed steadily, now fully synchronized with the weapon. Ryan finally allowed himself a moment of rest. He looked at Leora, realizing that this mission had changed both of them. She had seen the strength, creativity, and courage of humans firsthand, and he had learned to trust an alien in a way he never thought possible. This is just the beginning, Leora said softly. There are more dangers, more threats. But with you, perhaps, we can face them all. Ryan nodded. Humans never give up. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us worth knowing. Together, they prepared for the next stage of their journey. The hidden valley had been secured, the weapon activated, but the galaxy was vast and challenges awaited. They had survived incredible odds, blending human ingenuity with alien technology. And for Leora, the revelation was clear. Humans were not only capable of bravery and intelligence, they were capable of heroism, creativity, and hope. The descent into the hidden valley had tested them both, but it had also proven something even more important. When humans and aliens worked together, combining their strengths, they could face dangers no single species could overcome. Ryan and Leora stood side by side, looking at the radiant energy of the weapon, ready to face whatever came next. The hunters might return. The planet's dangers were ever present, but together, they had shown that courage, intelligence, and determination could overcome even the most impossible odds. And in that moment, Ryan understood the true meaning of HFY humans, despite their fragility compared to other species, could rise above fear, adapt and triumph where others failed. The valley was quiet now, bathed in the soft glow of the weapon's energy. Ryan and Leora stood side by side, catching their breath after the trials of the descent. The hunters had retreated, at least for now, but both knew it was only a matter of time before they returned. The weapon had been activated, but it still required full synchronization to secure the future of Leora's people. "This energy, it's unlike anything I've ever felt," Ryan said, reaching out carefully toward the glowing crystal. The light pulsed in response, almost as if acknowledging his presence. Leora's suit hummed, aligning with the weapon's flow. "The interface. It requires balance. Only by combining my suit and your ingenuity can we control it," Ryan nodded. "Then let's finish this together." They worked side by side. Leora guided him through the alien interface, showing how her suit could manipulate the energy fields. Ryan applied his human problem-solving skills, improvising adjustments where the alien system had gaps or inefficiencies. Slowly, the weapon's energy stabilized, creating a shield that extended across the valley, protecting it from both natural hazards and any attackers who might return. Suddenly, the hunters appeared on the ridge above, their dark forms silhouetted against the glowing sky. Their weapons glinted menacingly, and their eyes burned with intent. They rushed forward, confident they could take the weapon by force. Ryan and Leora braced themselves. "They are fast," Leora warned, "but they cannot pass the field once fully stabilized." Ryan's eyes scanned the terrain. "We can slow them down. Use the environment. Think ahead." He gestured toward jagged rock formations. Using small energy pulses from Leora's suit, they dislodged boulders that tumbled toward the hunters, blocking paths and creating chaos. Ryan's quick thinking and precise timing caused the hunters to stumble and scatter. Leora amplified the weapon's energy to project blinding pulses, disorienting the attackers further. For every threat the hunters posed, Ryan had an answer. Every obstacle was an opportunity for human ingenuity to shine. The hunters, though strong and relentless, could not anticipate the combination of alien technology and human creativity. Slowly, they were forced to retreat, unable to reach the weapon. Leora turned to Ryan, her eyes wide with admiration. You're clever. No one else could have done this." Ryan shrugged modestly. "Humans have to adapt. We survive by thinking, by taking risks, by not giving up." With the hunters gone, the weapon's energy field expanded fully, stabilizing the valley and its surroundings. The flowing energy began to spread through the planet, interacting with the alien constructs and natural energy sources, creating a protective network. Ryan and Leora watched as life on the planet seemed to respond. Plants glowed brighter, rivers of energy stabilized, and even the wind seemed calmer. The weapon. "It's working," Leora whispered. "My people, they will survive. Because of you, human." Ryan smiled. "Because of us. You trusted me and I trusted you. That's what made the difference." For the first time, Leora's suit powered down partially, allowing her to remove more of the protective layers. Ryan noticed her relief, and the faint smile she gave him made the long journey and constant danger feel worth it. She was safe, and together they had prevented a disaster that could have ended her species. As they rested, Leora began to explain more about her civilization and the predator species that had driven her kind to the brink of extinction. She spoke of battles fought across galaxies, of losses and near defeats, and of her duty to protect the weapon as the last hope. Ryan listened intently, amazed at the resilience and determination of her people. "You've shown me. Humans are remarkable," Leora said softly. "We feared you would fail. But you changed everything." Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder gently. "Humans are capable of more than we sometimes realize. We can inspire hope, even in the darkest situations." Leora looked at him thoughtfully, as if seeing something she had never understood before. "You are not just clever. You are brave. And brave humans are rare," Ryan laughed softly. "I'm not the only one. It's part of who we are. Adaptable, creative, willing to take risks when others might freeze. It's how we survive, and sometimes it's how we save others too." The weapon's energy pulsed steadily, a silent confirmation that their combined efforts had succeeded. But Ryan knew the journey was not yet over. The planet still held dangers, and the predator species might attempt to strike again. Yet he felt confident. Together he and Leora could face whatever came next. "We should leave soon," Leora said. "The hunters, they may return with reinforcements." "We cannot stay here forever," Ryan nodded. "Agreed. But before we go, I want you to know this wasn't just about survival. This proves something. Humans, we can rise to challenges no one else can. That's why you survived today." Leora's eyes softened. "I understand now. Humans. Special. You saved my people. You saved me." As they prepared to depart, Ryan made one last observation of the valley. The weapon's energy had transformed the environment. The jagged cliffs seemed less threatening. The rivers flowed steadily, and the alien flora pulsed with life. It was a reminder that bravery, intelligence, and collaboration could change even the most dangerous circumstances. The shuttle they had arrived in was still intact, and they boarded it carefully, Leora's suit fully synchronized with the weapon systems. Ryan piloted them back toward the orbiting station, knowing that the galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary, a human and an alien, working together, achieving what neither could do alone. As they left the planet behind, Leora spoke quietly. "I'd have feared humans. I thought you would be reckless. But you showed me hope." Ryan smiled, gazing at the distant stars. "Humans are unpredictable, but sometimes that unpredictability is exactly what's needed." For Leora, the journey had been transformative. She had learned that humans were not just fragile beings in a dangerous universe. They were capable of heroism, intelligence, and loyalty that could rival any advanced species. And for Ryan, the mission had been more than a challenge. It had been proof of humanity's potential. The galaxy was vast and filled with unknown dangers, but Ryan and Leora had demonstrated that courage, creativity, and cooperation could overcome even the greatest odds. The hunters might return, other threats might arise, but the bond they had forged and the lessons they had learned would remain a beacon of hope for both humans and her species. As the shuttle sped toward the safety of the orbiting station, Ryan looked at Leora, seeing not just an alien, but a comrade, a partner, and a testament to what humans could achieve when they dared to act with courage and ingenuity. "You know," Ryan said quietly, "humans don't give up easily. That's what makes us special. That's why we survived." Leora's eyes glowed softly in agreement. "I believe you. Humans are extraordinary. You saved not only me, but my people. You saved hope." And in that moment, as the stars stretched endlessly before them, Ryan understood the truth of HFY humans. Through courage, intelligence, and determination, could rise to face challenges no one else could. They could inspire hope, save lives, and prove that even in the darkest corners of space, humanity's spirit could shine brighter than any star. The mission was complete. The weapon was secure. The hunters had been repelled. And two species, once strangers, had discovered the power of trust, bravery, and collaboration. Humanity had triumphed not through strength alone, but through the qualities that made them uniquely capable: ingenuity, courage, and the will to survive against all odds. Ryan smiled as the shuttle glided into the station's docking bay. Leora looked beside him, her suit now calm and steady, a symbol of her trust in him and her people's renewed hope. Together they had shown the galaxy something remarkable: that humans, even in the face of overwhelming danger, could rise, adapt, and triumph. And as the station doors closed behind them, sealing them in safety, Ryan knew that this was just the beginning. The universe was vast, full of challenges, but humans like him, would always find a way to rise to the occasion.